Welcome to another episode of the Peak Potential Success Show. My name is Fong. I'm an entrepreneur, a business strategist, a real estate investor, speaker, and also a best-selling author. Every single day, I have the opportunity to help others unlock their potentials and guide them to succeed. Today, I have an amazing guest. She's somebody I've known for many, many years, and every single time I sit down with her, every single time I talk to her, there's a lot of great energy and lots of great ideas that bounces out around, and it's just fun watching her do what she does best, connect with people, have fun, and also just learning from her. It's just an amazing, amazing time all the time. She's an international entrepreneur. She is all about life quality assurance. She is the host of the podcast Shake Talks, and she always, always, always lives life out loud. So please welcome BARBILEE Hemmings.
That's me.
Well, thank you for being here. It's always a joy having you here and talking to you.
You know, I love your introduction because it makes me feel like I'm so freaking important. Like, well, and you say it in this great voice, and it's fantastic.
We're always important. It's always great to have you.
Thanks.
Now, for people who don't really know who you are and what you do, just give us a little quick Cole's Notes about who you are and what you do.
Cole's Notes version. Okay, so when I was 9, I wanted a bicycle. And I asked my mom, how do I get it? Like, I want a bicycle. Like, what do I do? Like, can you buy me a bicycle? And she said, yes, you totally can have a bicycle. How are you going to buy it? And I remember looking at her going, well, aren't you my mother? Shouldn't you buy me my bicycle? And she's like, no, you figure it out. So I started selling stale, dated vending machine products. We had a whole bunch of vending machines growing up. And I started selling them out of my kitchen window for like 10 cents. And they used to be 25 cents in the stores. And I know, Fong, you're too young to remember long ago when a bag of chips was only a quarter. But the kids in the neighborhood would buy it. And so that was my first entrepreneurial venture. And then, you know, just throughout the years, I just kind of started helping people solve problems and they wanted to pay me. I remember I was 15 when I was my first Bubbles the Clown, because I'd hired a clown for my niece's birthday. And he was terrible. I'm like, I can do better. And I did. And I did Bubbles the Clown for like 9 years. So it's been a journey. And now I do network marketing. And it's just been an absolute journey of self-discovery and learning and growing and having this amazing experience along the way.
Now, one of your favorite sayings is living life out loud. Yeah. Explain to us a little bit about how do you live life out loud?
Okay. So like sitting here going, well, that's nice. I never thought of that. Let me ponder that for a moment. You know, that's not living life out loud, right? It's about, you know, getting involved in life. As far as I'm concerned, life is a participatory sport, right? It is not to be sat on the sidelines watching everybody else go by. You got to at least be the water boy, right? You got to kind of step in once in a while and, you know, maybe get your feet dirty and your hands dirty, or at least get up and cheer for those who are doing it. So it's all involved. And to me, that's living life out loud. I love what Bob Proctor says. When there's the question asked of, you know, what is enough? He always says, my best. That's how I know it's enough, when I know I've given my best. And to me, that's living out loud. It's just living every day to your best. And sometimes we're broken. I get it. And our best is just this much. And that's okay, because at least it was your best.
Right. And another thing that I hear you say a lot, and it absolutely goes hand in hand with the saying about living out loud, is saying yes. Saying yes to a lot of things and saying yes to as much things as you can say yes to. So how powerful is the word yes?
I love the word yes. I used to play a game with my drama kids called Yes and it's an improv game and it gets them to think, right? And I still take that and I teach my network marketing team and anybody that I can just to go yes and figure it out, right? Watch the movie Yes Man with Jim Carrey. Okay, seriously, because he had to like say yes to everything and his life changed. The word yes is actually just as powerful as the word no. No, thank you. And that's a whole other conversation. But that's part of getting involved in life is, yeah, let's figure this out. Not, oh, I can't. And, oh, it's not for, say yes. And maybe not right now but yes. And, you know, it's the word is just 3 little tiny letters, but it can just mean so much.
What would you say the top 3 things that you said yes to that absolutely changed your life?
My husband, right? Well, I got it, right? Been married 26 years, right? No, actually, that was a really big one because we've been together 32 years. What did I say yes to? Okay, so having obviously my isogenics business, my network marketing business, but really, I think what really kind of changed it for me was about 17 years ago when somebody handed me a couple of free tickets to T. Harv Ekers' Millionaire Mind Intensive. And it was my daughter's 6th birthday. And I had another, I had a 2-year-old at home. And I was like, how am I going to get away for 4 or 5 days? And I went, yeah, let's figure this out. And that put me on a whole other different trajectory when I didn't think I could.
And you mentioned network marketing is one of the things that you said yes to. Now, there's a lot of people who's in network marketing who wants to get into network marketing. Why would you say network marketing is one of the most important things or one of the most viable businesses that people could get into easily?
Okay, a multitude of reasons, and we could talk for 3 hours on just that question, but I'll give it to you in kind of a nutshell. You do not need a special education. You don't need like a degree. You don't have to have any sort of, BComs or anything like that. You just have to have a desire, right? You can learn the skills, right? You can learn the skills. But what I love best about network marketing is it's something that it can be a side thing that can turn into a real thing, like a full-time thing. It can be, it doesn't discriminate women or men or the color of your skin. I know a guy who's legally blind, at no sight since birth, and he's rocking his network marketing business. So that it's a no excuses kind of business.
Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes to network marketing, there's a lot of challenges with it because people are somewhat afraid of network marketing. So how do you face those challenges and overcome that?
Well, I always say that people are afraid of something they don't understand. So once they understand it, it no longer is a fear. So if they're fearing, taking on a new challenge or whatever that looks like, it just means you just got to educate yourself a little bit more. So taking on a challenge, right? I said to you in the little intro, depends what are you talking about? Are you talking business challenges or couldn't play pickleball today because it was raining? So life is full of challenges. It's how we perceive them, right? Just yesterday, I was verbally attacked on Facebook for making a comment. It was kind of challenging not to jump in the ring with this woman and go, So even those kind of challenges, they show up. For me, where is it? I'm going to tell you in 1 second. No, I don't know where it is. I'm reading the book, The 4 Agreements. I really thought I had it sitting. Oh, right there. I'm reading the book, The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And as far as I'm concerned, if you read this book, challenges disappear. Because if you don't take anything personally, if you are impeccable with your word, if you're always doing your best, then challenges just become, okay, so this is what I'm going to do now.
Mm-hmm. Well, facing these challenges, here's an opportunity for you to debunk some myths about network marketing. What would be 3 myths that you would like to debunk?
Oh my gosh. Okay, you're asking me weird questions, but I love it because it's making me think. Okay, debunking a myth about network marketing. Okay, network marketing is easy. You just have to put a bunch of people in, right? Or you with your sponsor, just give me all their names and I'll make you a lot of money. No. That's not how network marketing works. It's called network marketing, not sit on your butt, play, wait for somebody else to give you an answer marketing. It's about, getting involved, right? Getting up off your assets and actually doing something, right? Some people say, oh, you know what, I can't do network marketing, or I don't want to, be one of those people spamming my friends or something. And I'm like, so are you one of those kind of people currently? They'll say no. And I said, well, then what makes you think it's going to be any different when you go into something else? And number 3 is people say, I can't do it. And I say, you do it every day. If you've ever shared anything on social media, you've already shared something that you like. You just didn't get paid for it. We teach people how to get paid for it.
Yeah, that's very well said. And a lot of those things were some of the myths that I thought about too. And you really debunked those and got us involved. And it's been very fun getting involved with that kind of stuff and lots of learning experiences too. Now, what I really appreciate what you do is online, you're very engaging. You're able to reach out and build relationships, and relationships are key to network marketing and any business. So how do you view, what are the top 3 things that you need to have when building relationships? What do you focus
on? Number 1, you have to be able to say hi. Number 2, you can't be afraid to say, how are you? And wait for an actual response, because fine isn't a real answer. And number three is, you know what? It's a people. The world is about people. Okay, if you don't believe me, look at what's going on in our world right now and how we're supposed to stay away from people because supposedly they're dangerous, right? We are so linked to everybody. The only way to create relationships is to truly care about somebody else. We can't fake that. People can, their BSO meter goes like instantly as soon as they know. So you gotta like people.
That's very true. And you mentioned about how today there's lots of stuff going on, and also with the lockdown, people being at home. How do you compare building relationships face to face, live, versus online?
I much prefer live. I am a face-to-face people person. Here's the thing about online. I'm really real. You go into my Facebook, right? I'm the only Barbie Lee on Facebook. Well, there's a little dance studio, but that's not me. But if you go to facebook.com/Barbie Lee, that's me. And what you see, like in my Shake Talks and my posts, like today, I said, I just love to kiss people, right? And then people are like, oh, bring it on. So I just, made a bunch of kissy faces. Okay. What you see is what you get with me. But a lot of people on social media aren't like that. I know them outside of social media, and they just put what they think they want or what other people might, and it's really fake. It's not a very intimate type of setting. When I'm sitting across from somebody at a networking event or something, and I'm like, tell me something wonderful in your world, they got to engage. But
Right.
on social media, if I say, tell me something wonderful in your world, they can wait 4 days to answer me or ghost me, right?
What have you found that you've adjusted to make building relationships online more effective?
You know what I love? And this is a tip, actually, that I learned from the guy from LinkedIn, Marcus Murphy. The voice messaging and the video messaging on social media that we can do through LinkedIn or Messenger. It's a great little feature to have, right? Because I can go like this. If I click on that and I click on Messenger and I go to Fong, because Fong and I are Facebook friends. We're not just doing this. We're actually Facebook friends, right? So then I can say, oh my God, Fong, you are so amazing. Thank you so much for interviewing me on your podcast. It is so much fun. And then boom. And then Fong's going to get a message and his phone's going to go bing and it's going to go, oh, I wonder what Barbie Lee had to say. Now, don't listen to it now because you already heard me. But that gets opened. And then people go, oh my gosh. And I do that for birthdays and, anything going on in their world, all kinds of stuff. So I like that.
Now, having known you for about 8-9 years now?
9 years, I think.
Close to it.
You're so lucky.
You're always a person who comes up with something and then tests it out, implements it, has fun with it. And one of those things is that backdrop that you have right behind you. You were inspired and you just went, you know what, I'm going to do it. So is there a story behind that backdrop that you have?
Okay, so first of all, this is a canvas painting hanging from my ceiling. Okay? Just so you know, look, I'll show you. Look, it's hanging by hangers on my ceiling. So this was a painting at my church, and I loved the painting. And it was on the wall, and then it wasn't on the wall. It was behind a box in the garage. And I kept asking, like a 2-year-old, for 4 months, I kept asking the minister, hey, what do you do with that painting? Hey, what do you do with that painting? And then finally got to have it, right? And it's fantastic because you can't see the mess I have behind me. Just saying.
One thing you really talked about there was you kept on asking. You basically, what you're able to do is really squish that voice, that little voice that sometimes tells you not to do something. Now, what's the best way to squish that voice? Because there's always that point that comes on.
You only have one voice? I've got like 18 of them in there.
Well, lots of people have like 2 or 3 that tells you not to do something. But I think you probably killed off like most of them. And you only have one left that tells you something that you don't want to do.
Here's what I know to be true. I'm wrong 99% of the time in my head, right? I do my best that I can so that when I'm, out in the real world and in the public eye or, whatever, doing Barbie Lee, I just do the best that I can, right? If that means asking until I get what I want, not being afraid. Okay, so today my driver's license expired like on my birthday in April. So I have to show up and I go to the registry, right, place, and there's like 26 people in front of me outside in lineup. Now it's 26 degrees, so it was okay. And I was like, I'm looking for, so I'm walking down the row. I'm like, how long have you been here? How long have you been here? How long have you been here? How long? And and they're all kind of looking at me like I'm on crack or something, right? But I will tell you, every time somebody moved up, they're like, hey, I'm moving up. And everybody started talking to each other in line. And everybody started having, a little better experience. And then I timed myself from when I was in line, and I did everything, and I had to take a picture and everything. And even when I came out, I'm like, okay, people, good news. I was there, and it only took me 26 minutes to be done. You guys are good. And they're all like, hey, thanks, right? Because life's too short. So did a voice tell me, be there and quiet and don't freak anybody out because there's some people wearing masks and some people aren't. Maybe they won't no. Live out loud, baby.
Yeah, you're the epitome of the person who actually lives out loud. It's absolutely fun to see you work and see you talk to people. And one of those
sometimes I'm annoying. Keep that in mind. I can be annoying. I'm okay with that.
Now, one of those scenarios is your recent podcast, your Shake Talks. Tell us some more about that and why people should tune into your Shake Talks.
Okay, so I've been doing Shake Talks for, I don't know, about 2 years now, I guess. And I started doing them on Facebook Live. And then my social media coach is like, you should, put them on YouTube at least, like download them, cut them up, put them on YouTube. So I've been putting them on YouTube. And then I got like Movie Maker, and now I, made a little in and out, and, it's really pretty, and I have a little thing. And then Fong says to me, why don't you have a podcast? And I was like, yeah, but it's so hard. I don't want to learn something new. And he's like, 15 minutes. It's all it's going to take. I'm like, I'm holding you to that. If it takes me more than 15 minutes, you're going to hear about it. Did you hear about it, Fong? Did it take
you more
than...
It took me 3 hours.
Now, having said that, setting up the podcast only took me 15 minutes. It was what picture was I using? What caption was I going to use? What was my description I was going to use? Blah, blah, blah. But doing the podcast, it stems from, so I'm a coach, right? I'm a network marketing coach, and people are in my world all the time, and they ask me all kinds of questions. I call it the life high five of life, right? The food, fitness, faith, finance, and fun. That's what my quality of life assurance is all about. So when something shows up in my world and somebody asks me a question, or we have a dialogue about something, I go, there's probably other people on the, in my world, in my, in my little bubble on my Facebook world and my Instagram that might want to hear about this too. So I just started doing these Shake Talk Lives. And number one reason is I don't like eating alone. So I make my shake in the morning. I come and I sit in my office, and I'm like, hello world, this is BARBILEE, and welcome to Shake Talk. And I get my shake, and I get to talk, and people talk back to me sometimes while it's typing. And it totally stemmed from people are asking me a ton of questions, and they want to have, more in-depth conversations. So I'm like, why not? And then Fong made me put it into a podcast. So now I'm on like Spotify and 6 other things. I don't even know what they are.
You're going to get some more. They're going to keep on coming. It's all good.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned about coaching. So for somebody like yourself who's very successful in what you do, why do you still seek coaching for yourself? And what would you say is the best coaching advice you've ever got?
The best coaching advice is get a freaking coach. Always have one. And it wasn't even from the person that I'm coaching with. It was from somebody, BARBILEE, you need to. I'm like, okay, I'll get my coach. And actually, I have different coaches, and I have mentors, and some people call them different things and whatever. But coaching is huge, right? I tell people that, sometimes I say, I'm more like your mom than your coach, just so you know, because I will kick you in the butt. And most coaches will sit back and go, and what do you think about that? But I'd be like, you get up there and you go, but the whole piece is, I can only go where I am. If I don't have something else or somebody else, kind of giving me that little nudge and stuff, yes, I can read my books. Yes, I can listen to the podcast, but there's still that little nudge, that little accountability, that other person, because you know what? I will disappoint myself all the time. I will not listen to myself. I will say, oh yeah, that's good, but you should probably watch Netflix first. Mm-hmm. But if I'm talking to my coach or my accountability partners and I say, okay, let's do this. And they go, okay, Wednesday at 4:00. I'm like, okay, and it's 3:55. And I'm like, oh, I won't disappoint somebody else. And that's just human nature. It's what we do.
Yeah. Now, I'm sure by now, for people who are watching this, they can tell you have a lot of energy and you're very, very motivated and also passionate. What drives you? When you wake up in the morning, what's that first thought in your head that goes, you know what, I'm going to crush it today?
Ooh, gratitude. I never say I'm going to crush it. Actually, no, I was going to say, I almost cussed. So on my wall, I cuss too, by the way. But I'm really trying not to, because every time I post a podcast, it asks me if it's clean or explicit. And I don't really know what their definition of explicit is. So anyway, I try not to. Anyhow, I open my eyes, and on my wall, it says gratitude. And I close my eyes, and I think of all the things, not all, but a good list of things that I'm grateful for that have happened and that are yet to happen. And then I get out of bed and I make it happen. Nice. Right? I like, what, crush it. I don't crush it. I love it. 14 and a half years I've been doing Ice Jugs. I get to help people every day feel better about themselves physically, mentally, financially. Like, why wouldn't I get out of bed for that? Like, yeah. It's just, that's it.
Always affecting and changing people's lives, right? So it's a
very, or infecting, according to the lady on Facebook today.
Yes. Now, if you had the opportunity to talk to on the world stage, what's that one message you want to share with everybody?
That the quality of your life is far more important than life itself.
Ooh, very, very well said and very inspiring. Thank you.
Yeah, not my quote. Not just telling you. Carl said that, Alex Carl. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. I'm really sucky at who said what quotes. When I saw that quote, when the quality of your life is more important than life itself, it blew my mind wide open, and that's why I changed my business name became.
Hello?
Time she got up, that's what she did. She groaned, Jesus, take me now. I don't want to live into my 90s if I'm praying, to die every time I have to get up because I'm unhealthy, right? I'd rather live, my Facebook post, my Facebook banner, it says, life is not a journey to the grave, in this well-preserved, pretty box. It's about driving in, sliding in sideways, thoroughly, used up, screaming, oh, what a ride, right? So if I live fully until I die, I've done good. Now, I'm going to live to 123, so don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm going to die tomorrow or something, because I decided it's going to be 1, 2, 3, go, and she went. And then there's going to be like a bouncy castle and a margarita machine. Just saying.
And one of those things where there's that big fan of the guy just...
Yes, and the dude... Oh, I totally have to put that on my list.
Your tombstone will have the most Facebook likes and posts out of anybody else in the world.
I started, so I was looking at things because I was talking to a lady. So I ran a course called Don't Die Dumb, and we were talking about the crazy things you can do after you die. You can be turned into diamonds and all that kind of, but you can now make yourself into fireworks to be shot off in the middle of the ocean.
Yep.
I am going to be fireworks.
Sounds very exciting. Now, before I let you go, I have a few quick questions for you to answer. Come up with the first thing that comes to mind. All right? If you had the opportunity to choose anybody to play you in an autobiography, who would that be?
Play me? Julia Roberts. I love her smile.
Okay, great. So now you have Julia Roberts in your living room, and you go, you know what? Let's go do blank. What activity would you take her to?
Skydiving.
Now, after skydiving, you have the opportunity to serve her dinner. What's the one thing that you would serve her for sure that you're very proud of?
Like, I have to make it?
Yeah. You could lie about it and say you did make it, but what would you serve?
I call it BARBILEE's buffet. And I take all sorts of fresh fruits and vegetables and everything that I have in my fridge, and I put them in little bowls, and I serve yogurt and granola and banana, like all kinds of things. And then we just eat whatever's on the table. And it's kind of like a big hodgepodge. And then everyone eats with their hands, and I like it.
Sounds fun. And then finally, if you had the opportunity to win the gold medal in anything, what would you like to have the gold medal for?
Is there a gold, like a real one, or can I make one up?
You can make one up.
Okay, then I go with loving people and making them smile, like bringing joy. Bringing joy, that's the one. I have a gold medal in bringing joy. I'm gonna make one. You know I know how to make medals.
I know. By like 9 o'clock tonight, you're gonna send me this little thing that goes, look.
I am going to make myself a medal.
Actually, I have one more question. What is success like? And before you answer that, I have 5 random cards here. Pick a number between 1 and 5.
I'm going to go with number 1.
Number 1. So how is success like a crystal ball?
Ooh, it's sparkly and it's fun. And sometimes when you get hit in the head with it, it's not so fun. It's going too fast.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that. Now, if anybody wants to get in touch with you and learn more about what you do, more about Isogenics, your Shake Talks, what's the best way to reach out?
My branded website is BARBILEEHEMMINGS.com. It has everything I have on there. So it has links to my Facebook, to YouTube. I'm going to put on my Spotify link. It has all the courses I do, the online stuff. So that's the easiest way to get a hold of me is BARBILEEHEMMINGS.com.
Great. Well, thank you very much for that. Your stories, your energy. I'm sure anybody who wants to just get a little bit of that energy, should just contact you. And it's just going to be off.
Yeah, so and if you're in Edmonton, I want to go for tea because I'm tired of being cooped up in my office. Or ice cream and a walk. I do that too.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So that's it for today. That's BARBILEE Hemmings, and thank you for your time. And finally, for everybody else, my name is Fong. Until next time, today is the day to unlock your peak potential. I'll see you later.